Started. I must congratulate the presenter and the audience. It's been very interactive. I think it's, as someone said, it's something that we really need to be engaged with. Safety is very, very important in many endeavors. And my company, we are a service-oriented company to many in the oil and gas sector. So our head office is at Airport Residential Area near Enyaho Clinic. So we're not far from this place. We are an ISO certified technologies company established in 2008, and we believe we provide cutting edge solutions. I'll share some of that with you in due course. Our vision is to be a leading brand in the service industry, with particular reference on delivering product authentication and product integrity services. What's our mission? To provide first-class authentication and integrity services using technology that impacts on performance and efficiency. Our core values are hinged on integrity, concern, and commitment to our clients. We have the following areas: product authentication and innovation services, which is an area that I head. And we've also got fuel tank testing, fuel tank calibration, fuel tank stratification, and also a section that deals with petroleum product marking. So I will talk about the digital tax stamp, the product authentication area, and then my colleague Mike will share his thoughts on the petroleum product marking scheme. He heads that program, and then Emmanuel will take you through the tank testing, stratification, and the calibration of tanks. So product authentication, what do? We mainly provide government agencies and companies with robust systems for revenue mobilization and product authentication. We also promote the adoption of advanced and innovative products that respond to societal needs, such as the environment. What are our key business activities? We are currently involved with the Textile Tax Stamp Program in collaboration with Ministry of Trade and Industry, GRA, and stakeholders such as GTP, ATL, and Printex. But prior to this program, we were working with GRA exclusively on the beverage tax stamps. So you'll see that the bottled waters you've got in front of you have some stamps on that. That's a fiscal stamp for GRA to manage the excise duties and the associated taxes that emanate from those products. We also are distributors of Green Reso, a range of air and surface purification systems. Casting your mind back, not so long ago, we were dealing with a COVID epidemic, and there are a lot of airborne diseases as well, which we're all prey to. We have those devices that also help in dealing with those issues. Sulnox is our latest product. It's a fuel conditioner, and we use it as part of our fuel integrity services. Again, with the advent of high fuel prices and contaminated fuels going into cars and causing a lot of incidental problems, this is a product we feel can help resolve that. We come from a background of doing fuel marking for MP, and we've been doing that for over 10 years. And we mark, is it 400 million a month? A year. So we do mark a lot of liters of fuel a year, and that's the experience we have in providing these services under our authentication and innovation portfolio. So end-to-end, what do we mean by authenticating systems? So for typically our tax stamp program, it involves having a digital fiscal stamp, which has those features on them. So you have a QR code, you have digital codes on them that you can see. Some are covert, some are overt, and they have unique identifiers. So we design the stamps and we embed them with security features. They are also anti-tampering. So if you try to rip the stamp off the product and apply it to another product, it will destroy itself. We also have a web portal, which is an app that enables us to manage the whole process of having stakeholders apply to GRA or any managing outfits, government agency. They will then enroll you onto a program, allow you to be able to buy the stamps and then apply the stamps to the products. We also have an A-class storage facility where we store the stamps, air-conditioned warehouse. So we need the stamps to be at a nice and cool temperature, otherwise they may degrade over time. We also need a secure method of distributing the stamps to the stakeholders. This is a revenue fiscal program, so you really do need to attach great importance to how the stamps are distributed. So you adopt the same protocol that banks use to distribute cash. If the stamps get into the wrong hands, the program can be compromised, and then all the revenue you wish to get from it, and also issues of fake products having genuine stamps can also create problems to you. So we do pay particular attention to the stamp distribution as well. The stamps don't get applied onto products by themselves. You need to have affixing devices. Again, we can advise the stakeholders on what type of application they need to be able to affix the stamps. It can be a manual process if they're low volume products. If they're high volume products, then you need an automated affixing system. Right? You also need to be able to monitor the stamps so that you can catch out people who are abusing the system. So you can scan the stamps and it will tell you who the stamps were issued to, the volume of the product, the type of product that the stamps should be applied to. If anything physically is wrong, as a consumer, you have a way of reporting it to GRA or MOTI or anyone else responsible for the program, and they will take the necessary action. Actions that can be taken against you could be a huge fine, or a term in prison, depending on the level of action that you caused. So I mentioned our air and surface purification devices. This is based on photocatalytic oxidation technology. Most of you may be familiar with HEPA filters. This is a slightly different technology. HEPA filters draws air through the device, through a series of filters, and then it throws out sanitized air. This one works in the reverse. It actually generates hydrogen peroxide, safe levels of hydrogen peroxide, which we know is a very good disinfectant, and it disinfects the room, the air, and the surfaces as well. HEPA filters are not so good at disinfecting surfaces, but Green Reso is a product that does that. We have plug and play units. So you have a personalized unit that you can put around your neck. And then we have the black device next to it, a small, which we call W50, that will sanitize a 75 square meter room. And then we have the C301 that will sanitize a room that's about 300 square meters. So indeed, if my maths are right or my sense of dimensions are right, I'll say that the C301, a couple of those will be more than enough to sanitize this space. Then we have the HVAC units. If you have a centralized air conditioning unit, from the chiller to the air handling unit, you can put the filter in there. And what it will do is it will filter as the air blows past it. It will sanitize the air. And before it gets into any outlet into a room, the air you've got in that room is sanitized. So if you have multiple high density buildings or high rise buildings, you can use that. And then the device next to it, that's under the HVAC, that square white one, it's the size of this sort of lighting unit. So you can actually install a few of those strategically, and that will do the same work for you. We have made to measure units that are for ambulances, minibuses, and also devices that can take care of odors and preserve perishable foods in hotels as well. So these are the units on their own that I've talked about. So the levels of contamination, disinfection that it provides, destroys bacteria, viruses, and molds.
It's a fluid, yeah. It's a fluid that we put in the fuel at the filling station, at the depot before the fuel gets to the filling station. Basically, what that does is that it doesn't color the fuel, it doesn't change the properties of the fuel, it doesn't do anything to the fuel except just sit there and be detected where it needs to be detected. What does it do? What is the aim of that? The aim is to help make sure that the quality of the fuel that left the depot is the same quality of fuel that is delivered to the filling station. So therefore, we're looking at adulteration, dilution, all kinds of things that happen to the fuel. This is the first time we've done this for 10 years, but I don't think that we've actually engaged the industry like that. I think most of you are overseas and you probably most of you are from the offices and all that. What actually happens at the depot, as far as fuel marking goes, I don't think that we've engaged the industry to this extent before. So this is probably a good opportunity for all of us to see what actually fuel marking is and how we mark. So we received the orders from, again, I believe it comes from the offices from the AOMCs. We all use a common platform owned by MPA, the EIDMS. So all the orders go to EIDMS. On your front, you see on your side, it goes on to the next level. The depots approve and do their checks. It comes to us, we pick the relevant data that we need, and we prepare the markup, and we actually mark it. So quickly, I'll just quickly brush through it. This is the process. This is the point where you actually receive the order in the system. Yeah, we take the details from the order in the system. So we look at product type and all that stuff. Product type and product volume. These two particularly because we mark in ratios. So we need to know how much you're loading. That will inform how much markup the load. Then we prepare the marker. So that's actually the marker we prepared. And when we say marker preparation, all we're doing is that we look at the details on the order form and we are preparing the marker in the right ratios as per the compartment volumes on the DRV. So we prepare the marker, we actually use cylinders and all that, graduated cylinders, and pour the marker into, again, graduated marking bottles. And these are the bottles that we find in our actually climb the truck and pour the marker into the truck with. This portion is one of the most important as far as OMCs are concerned. Once we finish marking, or during the process of marking, there are two things that need to happen. This is actually backed by the LI. So we have an LI 287, that governs fuel marking. And what the LI says is that the truck driver who is actually carting the fuel from the depot to the station should witness the marking, witness that we have actually marked. And the OMC representative, your OMC representative, should also climb the truck and witness the marking. Once that witnessing is done, we will issue this marking certificate. Every truckload that leaves the depot to a filling station has to go with one of these. And that is the only way that you would ensure that the load that you have received is the same quality that led to the depot. And you can see there are various portions. All the circles down there are spaces for the driver, truck driver, the OMC representative, and on the right side, representatives from the marking company also put their signatures on there to ensure that, or to confirm that that load has been marked. Let me take this opportunity to plead that oftentimes we get reports from MPA that marking certificate goes and portion for the OMC representative is left blank, or it's not left blank, right? Let me rephrase it. If the OMC representative is not there to witness the marking, what we have been instructed to do is to put unavailable or not around, whatever it is. What that means is that that marking has not been witnessed by the OMC representative. Sometimes this can create issues when the load arrives at the filling station. For whatever reason, there's a problem with that load. MPA comes around and they do their random testing. You have an issue there because what MPA will ask you is that was your rep present when the marking took place? So I have implore. I understand sometimes some OMC representatives do service several depots, and so therefore they cannot be at every depot at all times. Have some rep. I don't know how you want to do that, but have a designated somebody who will be there to put their signature or witness and put their signature on the marking certificate. That is your marking. I would rather take questions. No, you have questions. For my next comes to talk about time testing. For question number 2, I think that I would defer to MPA because I cannot speak for them. What I can speak to is what we do. Yes, I do know that they come periodically to test. Marking certificate, if you looked at it, has information on all the compartments. So we dose all the compartments. And there is information on the dosing of the compartments on the certificate. So that certificate has information for all the compartments. So it's for the whole book. It's not just for one compartment. The other question about, so they are making multiple drop-offs. If we've discussed this at meetings where it has been suggested that copies are made. So at the first drop-off, somewhere along the chain, copies are made and they are distributed along the chain. What I've also, just on my personal observation, I went to one filling station and I happened to be there when the truck was offloading. I was curious, so I'm talking to the station manager, asking him, where's the market? Have you seen the market? He had no idea. He hadn't heard about the marking certificate. This is one of the leading OMCs. I think the bottom line is that the whole idea is that if at the end of the day, trace can be made to a marking certificate being issued, because not having the marking certificate at all is not good. Like the example that I mentioned, station manager not being aware, I was surprised that we're receiving products which has to be marked, which has become the marking certificate. All this while they have no idea. I didn't see a marking certificate before.
Control. You can start from the elimination, which we can't do because that is the service that we are rendering. We can eliminate it. You can't substitute it for any other chemical because that is what you are selling. We have administrative controls in place that ensure that our employees are using the right PPEs. We have procedures in place for them to work with. We've also given them the right PPEs for them to use, and we monitor the usage of the wearing of the PPE as well as ensure that we do health surveillance for them every year. So we are really taking care of our employees to make sure that they don't have any health effect from the work that they are doing. Thank you very much.
I'm very much concerned about that because the health of the employees and the people around us, the environment, is of great paramount to me. I realize that when you are a distance away from even the doping.
Yes. How long has it been since you went to the depot?
Oh, that's just about a year, not even about a year. I just left there in November last year.
Because I know we've changed the composition, so the scent you're talking about is not as it used to be. That's why I'm asking that question. All right. All right, thank you. So I'm here to talk about tank testing, tank stratification, and then tank calibration. Now, with every fuel tank that we put underground, it has a tendency to leak at a certain point in time, which usually creates issues because there are times that the VRV driver will come with a full load, and when he pours it underground, you realize that there is shortage. Now you ask yourself, is it coming from underground or is it coming from the driver? There are times there are a lot of issues and all that. So our company has a specialized equipment that uses the principle of sound and fluid or the movement of air to test the underground tanks. There are various methods that can be used to test a tank. But with our system, our turnaround time for testing is less than 2 hours. And then in a single test, we are able to detect leakage in the tank and as well as the accessories that are connected to the tank, being it the discharge pipe, the vents, the suction line, or any other accessory that is connected to the tank. Our tests detect in 2 areas. That is the air area and then the one in the product. We use sensors to detect the leakage. Unlike other testing methods where they use water alone or they use nitrogen, ours use sensors. So we put sensors into the tank. We create a vacuum within the tank with a vacuum pressure of 250 millibar. Our system is fast, meaning that within 2 hours, we will finish testing your tank and then you can start selling. It is reliable because the test can be carried out whatever the height of the liquid is. So even if your tank is at the full capacity, we just need a little space below and then we can test your tank. And it's not affected by temperature, humidity, or inclination of the tank. Our method of testing is safe because our equipment are ATEX certified equipment. They are certified to be used in the petroleum environment. They are precise because sound is with precision. Sound comes with precision. So because we are using sound, the test results are precise. If it tells you that there is a leakage, even the smallest leakage in the tank that you can't see, our sensors will be able to detect. The test can be conducted in the field to perform several tests, or we can use our equipment to perform several checks at the station without any problem. So that is that on tank testing. When it comes to tank stratification, after we've tested your tank and you realize that your tank is leaking, so maybe in a day you are shorting about 1,500 or 900 liters of fuel. Now, what do? Your method will be that you want to assume the tank. By doing that, you break the whole forecourt, which is about 6 inches and more of concrete with metal mesh under. We have a technology that can repair the tank underground without you breaking the concrete. And this technology is what we call tank stratification. We provide a new interior coating of a tank that guarantees leak-proof system. So we coat the whole interior of the tank for you. And this method is safe, fast, and reliable. Why are we saying it's fast? For a 45,000 liter tank, we'll spend 7 days at the station to fully stratify it. Where in your case, if you want to assume it, you'll spend about 3 months and over before you'll be able to put the station back into operation. This is how a stratified tank will look like. We use a fiber material and a specialized paint to paint the inner wall of the tank, which gives it a new lease of life. The procedure is performed in a safe environment with technicians in their full safety gears. Why do you need stratification? First of all, you want to reduce downtime because you need time is money for you. If your station is down for 2 days, you are going to lose so much. So we don't want you to have a station that is going to be idle for 6 months, for 3 months, 5 months before you put the station back into operation. That is why you need tank stratification. It also increases the lifespan of the tank. Unlike ordinary works that you do on the tank or assuming the tank, ours will give you 25 years guarantee with extra years ahead. We can go all the way up to 75 years, but we give you a 25-year guarantee as an organization. And there is no breakage of the forecourt, so it is cost effective. So the work that you are going to, the money that you are going to use to employ a caterpillar to come and break the forecourt, the workers that you are going to take and all that cost, you will not bear those costs when you are doing tank stratification. It enhances the tank integrity. So the leakages, when we are done with our work, there will not be any leakage in the tank. Minimal safety hazards. So we have a lot of control measures that we have put in place when we are doing this work. And this is guided by international standards, not local standards. We have all the equipment that we use, everything that we use is international equipment and tools that we use. And then you are able to retain your customers because they will not be coming to your station every week, and when they come, there is a caution tape there for the next 5 weeks. They are coming and they see that people are still working there, and then they lose interest in the station and move on to other stations. Then our last service is tank calibration. I know most of you have heard about nationwide system tank calibration. We render calibration services for almost several AOMCs, and we've been doing this for the past 15 years. We've done a lot of work for Total and other AOMCs, Shell, Vivo. We've done it for Petrosol, Puma, and all others. And our calibration is reliable. Our calibration is reliable because our core value, one of our core values is integrity. We hold our customers dear and want to make sure that we provide them with the right service. Thank you very much.
If you don't actually even see it, but it's throwing out a lot of emissions. So the fact that you don't see it doesn't mean that you're not causing harm to the environment and to people as well. On average, it's known that about 28,000 people die in Ghana every year from air-related pollution. So this is very important. In fact, more people than people killed in road accidents. We make a lot of noise about that, but we conveniently ignore this for whatever reason, but it's important. And then when you apply Sulnox consistently in your fuel, you notice that the picture, this is about for 3 months or three cycles of use of full tanks. You get your piston rings being decarbonized, the injectors also being cleaned up. That then leaves you with an exhaust of clean gases coming out. It improves lubricity, the lubrication within the engine. It gives you maximum throughput. You can get up to 19% extra power from the use of Sulnox and 16% improvement in torque as well. Key stakeholders we've engaged. Our target audience really is the extractive industry, power systems, genset transporters, healthcare industry. And
it's a fluid, yeah. It's a fluid that we put in the fuel at the filling station, at the depot before the fuel gets to the filling station. Basically, what that does is that it doesn't color the fuel, it doesn't change the properties of the fuel, it doesn't do anything to the fuel except just sit there and be detected when it needs to be detected. What does it do? What is the aim of that? The aim is to help make sure that the quality of the fuel that leaves the depot is the same quality of fuel that is delivered to the filling station. So therefore, we're looking at adulteration, dilution, all kinds of things that happen to the fuel. This is the first time we've done this for 10 years, but I don't think that we've actually engaged the industry like that. I think most of you are overseas and you probably most of you are from the offices and all that. What actually happens at the depot, as far as fuel marking goes, I don't think that we've engaged the industry to this extent before. So this is probably a good opportunity for all of us to see what actually fuel marking is and how we mark fuel at the depot. This is the process in summary. We receive orders from, again, I believe it comes from the offices from the AOMCs. We all use a common platform owned by MPA, the EIDMS. So all the orders go to EIDMS. On your front, you see on your side, it goes on to the next level. The depots approve and do their checks. It comes to us, we pick the relevant data that we need, and we prepare the marker, and we actually mark the truck. So quickly, I'll just quickly brush through it. This is the process. This is the point where you actually receive the order in the system. Yeah, we take the details from the order in the system. So we look at product type and all that stuff. Product type and product volume. These two particularly because we mark in ratios. So we need to know how much you're loading. That will inform how much markup we put in the load. Then we prepare the marker. So that's actually the marker we prepared. And when we say marker preparation, all we're doing is that we look at the details on the order form and we are preparing the marker in the right ratios as per the compartment volumes on the DRV. So we prepare the marker, we actually use cylinders and all that, graduated cylinders, and pour the marker into, again, graduated marking bottles. And these are the bottles that we finally now actually climb the truck and pour the marker into the truck with. This portion probably is one of the most important as far as OMCs are concerned. Once we finish marking or During the process of marking, there are two things that need to happen. This is actually backed by the LI. So we have an LI 287, that governs fuel marking. And what the LI says is that the truck driver who is actually carting the fuel from the depot to the station should witness the marking, witness that we have actually marked. And the OMC representative, your OMC representative, should also climb the truck and witness the marking. Once that witnessing is done, we will issue this marking certificate. Every truck load that leaves the depot to a police station has to go with one of these. And that is the only way that you would ensure that the load that you have received is the same quality that led to the depot. And you can see there are various portions. All the centers down there are spaces for the driver, truck driver, the OMC representative, and on the right side, representatives from the marking company also put their signatures on there to ensure that, or to confirm that that load has been marked. Let me take this opportunity to plead that oftentimes we get reports from MPA that marking certificate goes and portion for the OMC representative is left blank, or it's not left blank, right? Let me rephrase it. If the OMC representative is not there to witness the marking, what we have been instructed to do is to put unavailable or not around, whatever it is. What that means is that that marking has not been witnessed by the OMC representative. Sometimes this can create issues when the load arrives at the filling station. For whatever reason, there's a problem with that load. MPA comes around and do their random testing. You have an issue there because what MPA will ask you is that was your present when the marking took place. So I'm going to implore. I understand sometimes some OMC representatives do service several depots, and so therefore they cannot be at every depot at all times. Have some break. I don't know how you want to do that, but have a designated somebody who will be there to put their signature or witness and put their signature on the marking certificate. That is your marking. I would rather take questions. No, if you have questions. For my list, comes to talk about testing.
My question has to do with the printout. That printout is contacting the whole compartment. Where would that, assuming that that has 6 compartments, and the driver has to go to this station. So which of the stations would you need the printout? My second question goes to MP when they come to the station. So you've not done that.
For question number 2, I think that I would defer to MPA because I cannot speak for them. What I can speak to is what we do. Yes, I do know that they come periodically to test. Marking certificate, if you look at it, has information on all the compartments. So we dose all the compartments. And there is information on the dosing of the compartments on the certificate. So that certificate has information for all the compartments. So it's for the whole book. It's not just for one compartment. The other question about, so they are making multiple drop-offs. If we've discussed the chain. Copies are made and they are distributed along the chain. What I've also, just on my personal observation, I went to one filling station and I happened to be there when the truck was offloading. I was curious, so I'm talking to the station manager, asking, where's the market? Have you seen the market? He had no idea. He hadn't heard about the market certificate. This is one of the leading AOMCs, I think the bottom line is that the whole idea is that if at the end of the day, trades can be made to a market certificate being issued, because not having the market certificate at all is not good. Like the example that I mentioned, the station manager not being aware, I was surprised that he's receiving products which has to be marked, and which has to come with a market certificate. And all this while he has no idea, I didn't see a market certificate